There's so many different moments early on in my career where I used to just like brush off so many different things that I was doing, and it's really sad when you look back on because you kind of it's kind of a blur because you don't even remember most of the experiences you had when you got those blessings that 9 times out of 10 you used to really pray for and really put on your list and put on certain goals like no I need to get this done, I need to do this, I need to work with this artist or hit this number mark. And it's like when I was younger, maybe 21, 22 at the time, I used to just look like, okay, all right, cool, that's cool, that's cool, but nets, nets and then nets, and it's like you look up and you like 25, and you're like, damn, like what do I have to appreciate? Why didn't I document this a lot more?
We're so focused on the future that once we've achieved the moments that we've always wanted, that we've always dreamed for, that we've always wished for, we miss them. We didn't live them. So when we get even farther into the future, we look back and we say, damn, I missed these moments. I didn't enjoy them. I didn't live them.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a special guest, man. He's a triple platinum producer. He's worked with Timbaland, and man, honestly, like, he's just got the credits to back it all up. HBO Max, Nike, all that shit. So go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Man, I go by the name of Haze, young producer from Chicago. Work with many artists from Chicago, different sounds. Just trying to stay consistent as much as possible. And I got a book out right now called Your Potential's Endless. Author as well, trying to keep going and just keep flourishing.
You've been going crazy, and you've been doing a lot of fucking traveling.
Appreciate you, bro.
What the fuck is all that traveling about, bro? Because we almost had to, like, postpone this shit, just schedules not matching up.
I was just in Miami with Timbaland working on some ideas. It's like it now.
Said it all casual. I was just working with Timbaland in Miami type shit.
Yeah, man, like just getting the inspiration and just seeing what we doing with B Club, like as far as like us building with the team. He had Mike Well out there, and there was so many different other creators out there. And we was just being able to just finally get in the room and really just embrace the energy, create new sounds, create new vibes, and just try to build something, even more. And it's like it's special when you do it online, but like when you create in person, there's no better feeling because you picking up off of that energy and you seeing what people like in real time, and you able to really build off of that and just stay consistent with that. And actually, just to see Timbaland in person, like that was a major. Like I wrote that on my vision board at the top of the year, like actually work with Timbaland in person. So to see that happen before the end of the year, that was a real blessing.
That was your first time meeting Timbaland then?
Yes.
Because I know you guys had collaborated somehow virtually, right? He was working on a beat that you were working on that you guys discussed on Lyrical Lemonade's interview.
Definitely. A lot of different beats. We started working like at the top of last summer. That's how he found me. And then we started doing a bunch of collabs through the internet. Throughout the months, we was working on just building and getting together. To see this come together a year later, it just showed that you got to keep working and just keep staying consistent. Like, and just keep finding ways to just keep doing it. And it's like, it's crazy. Before I went to Miami, he had an interview with Producer Grind, and they asked him, they was like, what advice would you give to an aspiring producer right now? And his advice was like, I would do anything it takes to make it happen, pretty much. And that was what I needed to hear because like me traveling and taking those risks and just making it happen, it showed me that I was like right on line with my purpose, right aligned with my purpose. Like literally, like just you can't question none of it. For me to get that message right now and then head to Miami to actually be working with them.
Some of my best interviews have come from conversations that I needed at that moment. And after that moment, it provided clarity for me that what did I need at that moment and how am I going to move forward? How am I going to grow from that conversation?
Signs be right there, bro. Like literally, like it could be another person that you never even met before, just talking to you and just really letting you know, like, nah, this is what you're doing.
Shit, bro, that's every week. I have conversations with people I don't know every fucking week.
That's your purpose. This is your real purpose. And when people remind you of your purpose, you can't play with it. I feel like we wake up every morning with a purpose, with a goal in mind, and as long as we continue to keep ourselves in line with that purpose, then the results are endless. The potential is endless. There's so many different things we could do. Because I feel like when we wake up in the morning, we also got potential to change the people around us too, and uplift them and motivate them to keep going. So it's like we play a major part in our story or being a vessel in another person's story. So we just gotta keep going.
That was a gem.
Well, yeah.
You mentioned Mike Will. Mike Will made it.
Mike Will made it, the legend himself, man. The legend. Mike Will don't get enough credit, man.
Go ahead and talk about that experience, man. Just working with Timberland and Mike Will made it, and what you were able to learn from them. We're gonna touch back on that vessel part, but I want to first touch on that shit. What have you learned from them, and how's that experience?
Just being able to like see them in person and really just see all the consistency that they put in over the years and just seeing it pay off. It just showed me that I got to keep going, because Timberland, him being 25 years in the game, Mike Will, him being like at least 15, 20 years in the game, and me only being like maybe 5 to 10 years in the game. It's just so much more that I want to do and so many more things that I want to get done. I know for a fact that one day it'll be a younger producer looking up to me as I looked up to them. So I just feel like I just got to keep going and keep making ways to just stay consistent and keep finding ways to reinvent myself and just find new ways to just stay great. Because over time, time is gonna really tell who the greats are for real. So it's just all about showing yourself that you can be consistent, showing the people around you that you can be consistent, and just really just making it happen and just getting better with time. Because can't nobody erase the history they did. In 2033 and 2038 type shit, like I want people to look back and be like, damn, Haze put them numbers up on that board, he put them stats up, and he made it happen. Like we got 4 plaques right now, 3 to 4 plaques, but I need 10. We coming for 15, we coming for 20, and we trying to really take over and just make these statements, make it happen and show everybody else that it is possible, that you can make it happen. Because just 10 years ago, I was a senior in high school, still trying to figure it out, like just getting started, really trying to, find my purpose for real, but I never gave up. I think that's the main key of all of this. You can't give up.
All those accomplishments feel great at that moment. But what's going to be the end result? What's going to live on after you have all these statistics, all these awards? If the art is timeless, then your name is going to live on forever. You become immortal in a sense because your name will never be forgotten by somebody who is born in 50 years. You think people are going to fucking forget who Michael Jackson was, who Michael Jordan was, Kanye. Hey, we can't talk about Kanye too much. I know he's one of your biggest influences, but he's got a lot of crazy shit going on. Right?
Going on. Even with that, like just the stuff that he done laid, like the foundation that he done laid. Like producers like me, like I probably wouldn't even be able to see this height of success on what it is. Like, cause it's certain people that shows you what success is and how you could take over the world early on, and they just play such a major part into like my life as a producer, as an upcoming producer, like not only Ye, but like for real, like the Neptunes, like seeing them reach different heights, like man, like heights that people probably looked at them like, nah, you crazy, you'll never do that. Like, but just seeing them do it and seeing them stay consistent over time, it's like it's so amazing, it's so inspirational to see because I know for a fact that we can get it done as well.
On your previous project, you produced all those beats?
For the most part, I was either making the beats or collabing with a lot of my friends. Roy Marsalis, amazing producer, amazing artist, amazing creative. My homie IB, man, so many other homies out here like that I'm locked in with. There's so many different producers out here that was a part of that project. That's why I'm so excited, like to just get this next project out because we just been in such a great space, like just creating and just like locking in and just embracing collaborations and just staying consistent. And it's a whole new fresh sound.
I could tell the influence. I love when artists use samples for their beats.
Yes. I mean a lot.
Those vocal samples fucking smack. And I feel like it adds so much more emotion to the music.
Some of my favorite projects like have a lot of samples, like either if it's from like the Blueprint or Lupe Fiasco, Food and Liquor, or like just so many different projects I look back on, like them soulful samples, they just stick with you. And it's like, to me, it's timeless. And I feel like those records being sampled already, it's already an attachment with the original record sample. But the artist adding that feeling and the producer adding them drums and just taking just adding a whole new life to it. Like, that shit is just amazing. And if anybody do it, like, anybody got a love for it, I just got a different type of appreciation for what they do. Like, for people sampling, like, still to this day, like, cause that's such an amazing art. There's so many different artists, like, just sampling and just adding new vibes to just classic records.
I'm a big fucking Bryson fan, man.
Favorite Bryson record? What's your favorite?
I love 7 o'clock because it's got Big Sean on there too.
Crazy record.
Still Yours is a good ass song too. Uh oh, you know what? There's that one, Nowhere to Run with.
Ryan Trey.
Yeah.
I don't think Tilla get enough credit for Trap Soul, bro.
Trap Soul was dope, bro. Trap Soul was dope. But I think that there is a little more. He has Right My Wrongs on there. He has Don't. And there's definitely stories behind them, but I feel like it was more of a Travis Scott type thing where it was the sound that was carrying him in that record.
2015, that whole entire sound. His music definitely was like.
I feel like now he has a little more substance to what he's saying, and the lyrics have a little more feeling and meaning behind them, and he's not relying on, okay, it's a new sound, so this shit's gonna go crazy. Like, no, you have a new sound, but okay, what's the backstory? Like, Inhale's crazy too.
I'm just glad he's still able to do it. You know, like I'm glad he's still able to create.
He's got some crazy shit coming. I love watching his interviews too, bro, because he's real about it. Like, he never wanted the fame, bro. He just wanted to be regular, but not be fucking broke.
That's a lot of us, man. You know, like that fame shit, bro. You gotta, if you want it, you gotta make sure you're ready for it. I ain't reached no level of fame yet, but it seems annoying. Like, I want to be able to go to the grocery store, bro. Like, I want to be able to still wake up and just like live a normal life type shit, you know, and still be able to create like that. But that balance of like reaching a different level and getting new connections and still being able to stay normal in a sense is.
There's levels that you want to reach. There's levels you want to reach and levels you don't want to reach.
Right.
But if you want to be at the height and you want to be at the top and you want to be the best of the best, you got to say fuck everything else and just go for it. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to it, man. We kind of detoured. We detoured for like fucking 10 minutes already.
Facts.
Aside from that experience of working with these producers, you don't really think about how crazy these experiences are. I just had a conversation with my boy. His name's Zay Visuals.
Shout out Zay Visuals.
When you're working with these amazing artists, you're working with people who have established names and are at the top of the top. You don't take the time to appreciate it. You just feel like this is some regular shit, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I've praised that feeling so many times, that you know that you're supposed to be in this position and there's not many people that think like that. But I've come to the realization that just because you're satisfied with something doesn't mean you're complacent. I feel that we're always so afraid to be complacent, and we confuse complacency with satisfaction, that we can't be happy about our wins, the little wins that we have, because we're afraid that what that means is now we're going to stay in the same place and we're not going to grow from it. We're not going to think, okay, we can do more, we can do better. And that's always been my fear, at least. I always felt that if I took a second to really appreciate what I've done, I'm never going to obtain it again. We got a like from fucking Big Sean earlier in the year, and to me, I smiled about it, but I was like, okay, let's keep it moving because I want this shit to be regular. But that's no regular shit for a podcast that had 1,400 followers at the time, not even. So for me, that was an accomplishment that I didn't take the time to appreciate because I genuinely felt, nah, somebody in my position should accomplish more than just one like.
It's important that you appreciate those moments, that you just sit back and say, damn, at one point in time, this was a goal. This was a real dream that you wanted to obtain, but it's not about like, it's about like really just appreciating that moment and definitely getting ready for the next one, because you don't ever want to get too high or too low in any moment that you're in. You don't ever want to get too comfortable. You don't ever want to get stagnant. But you do want to like pat yourself on the back, like, because damn, like, you do work hard, and like you want to look back on those moments, because eventually you will be interviewing Big Sean and y'all gonna be looking back like, damn,
hey, that dude's gonna see all the times I talked about him. I'm gonna cut some clips, be like, hey, I talked about you here, quoted you here, type shit. Nah, I'm playing, but
that's real, bro. You speaking it, and it will come to life, bro. Like, because life has a crazy way of coming full circle. If you speak these things and you believe it, it can and will happen. It's all about being ready for it, bro. Like, just and putting your mind in a space where you can mentally receive it and mentally appreciate it too.
You gotta appreciate your blessings and be open to the next thing to happen. For all the bad things that you lose, for all the good things that you lose, another door fucking opens.
It's never really a loss. You look back on those times like, damn, I didn't take an L right. I learned this, and I'm able to double back and grow from this side.
Bounce back.
Bounce back, like yeah, like I'm able to bounce back and come harder and just be able to just find new ways to elevate. And I know what not to do next time around. And that's so important as creators because we can be so hard on ourselves when shit don't go our way. And it's so important to really just know it's not the end of the world when things don't may not go your way or may not go as planned. It just means it's time to go harder. And it's like when you go harder, you able to really appreciate that blessing because you know what it took. You put that groundwork in. You showed yourself that it take consistency and dedication.
Like I said, we don't take the time to appreciate these things because, like, this complacency and satisfaction part. I know you felt this feeling because as an artist, we all feel this feeling. How do you feel like this thinking has impacted you, both personally and professionally?
Like just being complacent or just trying to like exit out of that.
Not being able to appreciate the present moment and being so focused on what's next that you don't take the time to say, man, this shit feels good because you're afraid to stay in that place of, I accomplished it.
Man, so many different moments early on in my career where I used to just like brush off so many different things that I was doing, and it's really sad when you look back on because it's kind of a blur because you don't even remember most of the experiences you had when you got those blessings that 9 times out of 10 you used to really pray for and really put on your list and put on certain goals like, no, I need to get this done, I need to do this, I need to work with this artist or hit this number mark. And it's like when I was younger, maybe 21, 22 at the time, I used to just look like, okay, all right, cool, that's cool, that's cool, but nets, nets and then nets, and it's like you look up and you like 25, and you're like, damn, like what do I have to appreciate? Why didn't I document this a lot more? And that's why when I reached age 25, I had to be real with myself as far as like where I wanted to go and be very intentional with my moves. The pandemic kind of happened and it kind of slowed down the world and everybody going through what they was going through, and it kind of helped me really realize like how important it is to document everything you're doing. You never get these moments back at all. And it's like I feel like since age 25 in the last 2 years, I kind of had a reset on life. As far as just being able to really appreciate things a lot more and document so many different things like that I've been doing because I'm able to just appreciate it differently. And it seems like I'm able to tell my own story. Like no one else is telling my story for me in a sense, because I'm able to really just take each moment for what it is and just learn from it and grow from it and just build from it. Not only with me, but the people that I'm around, my team and everyone that keeps me focused, my team and my family, and I feel like that's such an amazing feeling to just appreciate each moment for what it is and appreciate each day and make the most out of everything as much as you can, because you won't get today back at all. But, if you continue to just put the most into each moment as much as you can, you're going to appreciate yourself in the long run even more because you know what you did. You got the most out of everything.
That's what I loved about the topic you had shot me. That those inner thoughts of the past is gone. The only thing you can focus on is the present and the future. And I shot to you. We're so focused on the future. We're so focused on the future that once we've achieved the moments that we've always wanted, that we've always dreamed for, that we've always wished for, we miss them. We didn't live them. So when we get even farther into the future, we look back and we say, damn, I missed these moments. I didn't enjoy them. I didn't live them.
So many people that I used to know that did music back in the day, they was so focused on the future that they wasn't really appreciating what was in front of them. And I kind of picked up on that very early. Like, man, like a lot of people, they would kind of treat people a little, like harsh because they was so gone. They saw like
you don't see anybody else but yourself.
Right, you don't see nothing but yourself when you're so far ahead. But it's like the further you get along in that, you kind of lose yourself. And I saw so many people lose themselves just off of not appreciating what was in front of them. Like it could be an artist not appreciating producers or engineers or photographers there around or anybody. Like their team for real and what helped them get there. and it's just so important to really just make the most out of right now.
What do you feel like you weren't appreciating? What made you come to this realization of, aside from the pandemic? So once the pandemic happened, obviously you saw something that you weren't appreciating, and that's what opened up this eye of new life.
What we was just talking about, pretty much like the moment, like kind of taking the fact that we don't wake up. A lot of people did not wake up today. Like just that fact alone, right there, like just being able to wake up and also do what we love. Like just being able to look back. And at that time, I think I was working a 9 to 5, and it's like I just saw so many people in there just stuck. And it was like I had conversations with these people, and they whole view of life was kind of limited. They didn't have like you would talk to them about certain things, and they thought it wasn't possible because all they knew was the job and work. And it's like no, you actually can live outside of this. You can make things happen. Like I had a friend I was at work and he had like a clothing line and he didn't want to like execute it because he was so worried about the shift. And I'm like, man, like bro, you gotta live for once. But it's like everyone definition of it is differently. Like you gotta you gotta also realize that what we may do, they may not want to do it. But that's what made me appreciate my journey as well, even more because I gotta realize I gotta have that courage in myself and that man, just that wisdom of taking that leap. And I gotta know that what you may see in others, they may not see in themselves. You could try so much. You can tell them they great. You can tell them like, yo, if you do this, you do that. But it's all about do they want to do it or not.
Everybody's vision of success isn't the same as yours. And I purposefully do not say different because, once again, we get so caught up on what we believe is success. We think that our definition is the right definition, and every single person should feel the same exact way that we feel. And it's been a hard journey for me to understand that. I've seen so many people accomplish things. I've seen so many other of my friends gain lives outside of what I hope to be the norm for me.
That's heavy right there because you 22, right?
Yeah, I'm 22.
This is the age, man. 21, 22. That's when you really realize like it's time for you to like really become into your own. Because that's when I really realized it. When I was 22, like certain things and certain people I was around at the time, like just getting into like a lot of different drugs and a lot of other shit that I just didn't really, I wasn't aligned with that. And I really saw something in myself that, like I can't keep doing this. I can't keep aligning myself with this type of energy, especially when I'm not being appreciated. What I was doing at the time, like as far as working warehouse, I just didn't see no future in that as much as I did with the music. So it's like just being able to find time for the music no matter what. Like if I'm working a 12-hour shift, still find time to hit the studio.
That's some real shit right there.
I used to wake up 6:30 to take a 45-minute drive and go to work and then get off at 7 just to go to the studio and then have to do it all over again and go back to work. So it's like them sacrifices right there, just knowing that this has to pay off. I know for a fact it's gonna pay off because if it's somebody in your circle telling you you're gonna be great, you're gonna keep doing it, and it's like you keep doing it and just finding ways to grow. All you need is that one person to let you know like you dope. You gotta just believe in yourself too. And it's like it's gonna continue to keep growing, and it's like what other people see in you, you are able to see in yourself, and that's an amazing feeling right there too. Even early on, like in your early 20s, like when you finally see your own greatness, you can't take that moment for granted.
And that just goes back to being able to appreciate yourself, being able to appreciate your wins, because there's so many people that will tell you you're great, you're amazing. What you're doing resonates with me. What you're saying, that shit hit, especially as an artist, even as a lyricist.
Yes.
So when you're not able to take that time and appreciate it, it's really, why am I doing it now? I'm doing it because I like to express myself. I'm doing it because I like to share with the world, but I'm not even appreciating what the world is telling me back. I'm not listening to it, and I'm not hearing the praise that this is getting.
That's how you went up in your head too much, because you're worried about it could be 100 comments, it could be 99, like you're amazing. If it's that one, like you ain't shit. Like you worry about that one comment rather than just focusing on the love. If you focus on more of the love, then you're gonna be alright. You're gonna be good. Just keep going and keep building with your own community. That's another thing I had to learn as well. Like what we doing, we all have our own communities, especially out here in Chicago, where we are. It's so much talent out here. It's like it's unreal levels of talent in Chicago. But it's all about like just really building with the people that really believe in you and the people that want to keep pushing you. And it's all about spreading the energy right back.
But with that being said, you need to find those right people. You need to find those people that are just as motivated as you. I've had this conversation a lot recently where there's a lot of people who do music. A lot of people do music. And I say that with quotes because everybody will tell you, I'm an artist. Yeah, I rap. Yeah, I write. You haven't put anything out in 3 years.
Facts.
Yes, you're an artist in a sense, but there's nothing to show for it.
That's one thing right there. If I go to a person's page and they ask me for some beats, I'm checking your page out. Does anything music? If there's no music, we don't need to be talking. Because it's like you don't even believe in yourself enough to, put yourself out in the world. It's like, why would I invest my time if you're not even investing your own?
Let's take it back to those moments, though. The moments that we don't appreciate. And just like we said, once we get to it, we missed it. Bad Bunny says in his song, 2016, I'm going to butcher these lyrics because I don't speak perfect Spanish, but I'll translate it for you. La vida es solo un momento y el dinero no compra el tiempo. Dime qué tengo que hacer, a dónde le tengo que caer, para pasar 3 días y 2 noches en el 2016. What it translates to is life is just a moment and money doesn't buy time. Tell me, what do I have to do? Where do I have to pull up to spend 3 days and 2 nights in 2016? This is the biggest artist in the fucking world saying, how do I go back in time to when I wasn't this big ass artist, to when I could appreciate the little wins, the tiny wins that mattered at the time? Because now I'm at this point where I've achieved everything I want, but I still miss the old me. I miss the me that didn't have all these things. And he's not necessarily saying this in the song, but for me, this is how I interpret it. I interpret it as, man, I want to go back because I miss this moment. And we talked about these moments of realizing we're missing. We're missing, say, a graduation. We're missing spending time with our families. We're missing a birthday because we're so focused on, damn, I need to go make a song. I need to go record an episode. Yeah, I'm present, but my mind's not celebrating this person who could die the next day.
I lost all three of my grandparents at an early age. So, like, just like even the moments back then, I really look back and just wish that I spent a lot more time with them. It's like that's just another reminder that, man, every moment you got to treat it like it's your last.
But what was that specific moment for you that made you realize, like, damn, I really missed this shit? I didn't get to appreciate it because I was too focused on something else.
Just getting older, like even my birthday is next week, and it's like, man, like that's just another chapter.
There wasn't anything for you? There wasn't something that you wished you were present for?
Definitely more family moments. Like even with the grandparents, like just wishing that I was able to spend more time with them. Like just finding a lot more time. Like just being more present. Like just looking back on those type of times and just, man, just saying to myself, like, man, I wish I was able to just go back into that time and just say this or say that. Like who knows what could have been a change in that moment for my life permanently.
I ask you that because there's definitely times that I think back on that I didn't appreciate. I didn't let myself feel these emotions because I was so hung up on something that happened in the past. I was so hung up on what am I going to do next? Who am I going to interview next? I'm so stressed because I have an outline to write that I don't realize that my brother's birthday is happening. I'm at dinner and I know that I got to leave in 5 minutes. And we're having a nice family conversation. But I'm over here saying, all right, guys, I got to go. I got to go record.
You put things in perspective with because like, remember I was in college, and I had all of my family in the living room. We was just talking about like a bunch of memories, and I had to get ready and go, like get ready and leave. And that was like the last time like all of my family was in the room, like really talking and just man, sharing memories. But it's like those moments right there are like really priceless. You know, as much as you can, you gotta cherish all of those moments as much as you can. But it's like at that time you focus on. At the time, I was focused on like trying to graduate college and everything, trying to get done with that. But it's like you look back like, man, I could have spent that time with the family. That shit was a waste of time for real. You know, that's sad to look back at like that, but like for real, I really should have spent that time with the family.
So moving forward, how have you changed that?
Just contacting people as much as I can, a lot more, and being very, very intent. Keeping just every message like just very, very heartfelt as much as I can, but letting my family know as much as I can that I love them. Like telling them I love them consistently as much as I can. Like just even if it's like calling them or sending voice messages, like we can get so wrapped up into our own stuff, you know. But like you never know what a "I love you" text can do randomly throughout the day, just sending it to the family. 'Cause you never know what people going through. You know, I'm just like man, like I love you. How you been? Just checking up on you. Not asking for nothing. I don't need nothing. You know, just saying hi.
The hard part is that people don't always take it like that.
Mm-hmm.
People think that someone reaching out means that they're about to ask them for something, that there's always an ill intention. And that's what I want to normalize nowadays is reaching out to a homie, reaching out to somebody just because you know there's something going on with their life, because you know that there's issues that they can't handle themselves. So let me reach out and make that burden a little easier for you.
Even if it's just a conversation, you never know like how much you can lift a person's day up just talking to them for 10 minutes and just cracking jokes. They needed that. Like every time I talk to a person and the conversations end, they always say I needed that.
That's raw, bro. As you've grown, so have your aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, some of your first aspirations was, let me get a gold plaque. You got a couple of those now. You got a platinum plaque. Now your aspirations have moved on to, I want to do movies. I want to do TV shows.
Writing a TV show right now.
For you, how is your perspective and your vision of your goals changed since earning that platinum plaque?
It's other things to do, other things to get done. It's like once you do that, you can't be too stagnant on just chasing that, you know, time after time again, because that's gonna get kind of boring. You know, that's why I really, as much as I can, I want to challenge myself to do new things. Like that's why this year alone, like just writing a book and getting the plaque. And also, I worked for the NHL. I did a beef in one of the commercials on the Stanley Cup. Like those three accomplishments alone, like that's major to me. And it's like that just showed me that it's so much more to do, so much more to get done. Like producers not able, like a lot of producers don't get an NHL placement as much. Like that's dope. Like just looking back, like that's really a blessing, you know. But I really want to get into film and just tap into that world and just show my ideas on the big screen. Whether if it's like scoring a film or writing a TV show or just writing a scripted series, like I've been writing so many different ideas, and I feel like that's the next step for me to like really become a real staple. Like as far as not only a producer, but not only an artist, but as a creative.
A triple threat, bro. A producer, fucking a TV producer, artist.
Shit's gonna be crazy. I look at Donald Glover and what he's doing with Atlanta and everything that he's done. This shit is like it's really inspiring because he's not the. You don't look at him as like okay, that's a rapper. You look at him as a real creative and a real force. Like everything he's done in the last 10 years, like he's been killing shit. You know, it's a real blessing to see that early on, especially where I'm at right now. It shows me that you could do anything you want.
There's so much doubt that comes with that.
What's doubt?
People want to put you in a box. People doubt you. People don't believe that you can do these things because you've been a producer. You've been an artist for so long. How do you deal with that? What makes you overcome that?
You look back at certain moments in life, like people told Kanye, like, "Nah, you just you a beat maker, make them beats. Ain't no rapping, none of that." Like, Ye, if it was up to anybody else around that time, like, Ye would just be making beats. But like with him going from producing to rapping to fashion to anything, like even for real, like from him producing to rapping and just working with so many different artists. People looked at him like he was crazy at the time. You know, like just his style was so different. And it's like these are people who changed the game as we know it. Like Dr. Dre. Like at the time, like him finding Eminem, they thought he was crazy.
Mm.
You know, like they were like, "What the fuck you?" Like
You got a white boy.
he got white hair. Like what are you doing right now? He ended up being the fucking highest selling artist ever down there. Like shit was crazy. That's why like you gotta go with your thoughts, and if it's in your heart, you gotta go with your mind and your heart, bro. If it's on your mind, you gotta do it. You you gotta execute and you just leave it out for the world to see. Because like, man, like music is in such a interesting space right now. You know, and I feel like it's time for somebody to it's time for people to be more themselves. Like embrace yourself. Like embrace what influenced you. Like you know, don't follow what's hot right now. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Go with your heart. Like and build with the people around you that you truly believe in. And it's like you unstoppable once you do that. Ain't no the people that's doubting that shit. That the doubt should get cut so quick because it's like you see if you doubting yourself, then you gotta really, man, you gonna find out that you're not built for it. You gotta cut the doubt as quick as you can, cause it's like it's you versus your thoughts. You have to speak greatness into your passion as much as you can. If you continue to say, oh, what if this don't work? What if this happened? What if it don't? It's not gonna work. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mindset. It's all how you wake up. And it's all how you talk to yourself, and it's all about how you view yourself before the rest of the world does. Like you have to see greatness in yourself. You have to see all of these things in yourself before the world does. Simple, and the universe gonna continue to bless you.
Manifest that shit.
Manifest that shit. If you believe it, like that shit, I said 2023. I'm getting a record that's 10 times platinum. I believed it because at the time, like when I first started producing, I was saying I'm gonna get a platinum plaque. People looked at me like, "We'll see." Nah, it's like you know, you just gotta aim higher now. You gotta speak it. Everything we was talking about, these was goals at one point in time, and it's like along the way you may reach higher goals than you ever saw for yourself. But that's what make the story even better.
Another thing that you mentioned was being a different person, being a different person than everybody else. What sets you apart as a person from everybody else? I remember in one of your interviews, you talked about you started rapping because these artists that you were working with, you didn't really even believe in them.
Not even that. Like I don't think at the time I don't think they believed in themselves like that. You know, it's sad to say that, but like at that time I didn't hear the passion as much as I would like to hear it. As much as passion I was giving as a producer, I wasn't getting it back. Like as on the rap side. So like at that time I wasn't getting inspired by what I was hearing at the time. So like just in that led me to start really writing and creating my own music and creating the stuff that I like. And at the time I started to really just learn that it was really therapeutic, like writing my own lyrics and just being able to really reflect on my own beats. And I saw a lot of growth in myself, you know, because I was able to look back on those moments and just learn like, okay, this is where my mental was at this time. You know, let me find ways to excel and find ways to just stay focused and stay aligned with greater things and just speak greater things as well too. Lyrics are so important because like you can speak so many things into existence in your life. Like you see so many different artists, they may use it in a negative way and they may use it in a positive way. You know, I just feel like I'm in a space right now where I need to use my voice to speak positivity into not only me but everybody that I'm around and just people that listen to my music as well because us as artists we got to be accountable. We got to hold that responsibility for the words that we sing because like the power of the tongue is real.
That's why they call it spelling. But once again, let's take it back to the question.
Oh yeah, I ran off again.
Nah, you're good. You're good, bro. What sets you apart from everybody as a person? So aside from your belief of this manifestation, aside from your work ethic, aside from all of that, who is Gold Haze and what makes him so different from everybody else, all these other artists who go through everyday life?
Gold Haze is just a leader, man. Just a leader. Somebody who sees himself as just being great and really realizing that everybody around him is great and just Haze as much as he can. He tries to help everyone see the greatness in themselves as much as he can. Like it's simple as that. You know, like I feel like every artist is special and different in their own way. It's just all about really realizing it. You know, and I like to really just look at myself not only as an artist but a producer as well. That's why like when I'm working with artists, I try to bring the best out of them as much as I can. You know, like we got so many different dope artists out here that's just doing amazing things like from Flint Sinatra, OG Steve-O, Femdot, Asar, so many different great artists out here doing their thing. Like, but it's like with them artists that I just named, they saw the greatness in themselves already. You know, and it's just me as a producer to really just remind them as much as I can. Like you've been great. Let's just keep finding ways to keep that greatness up flowing. Just keep going. Still sharp and still. Simple. It's like so much talent out here, and it's just all about everybody just realizing it.
And shout out to all of them, man, because they're your partners, but they're separate people, man. They're separate people, and you're always shouting out people on your interviews. You're always giving people their props and their flowers. So that's why I want to make this one a little different. I don't want to come on here and list these people you've worked with. We mentioned Timbaland, we mentioned Mike Will Made It. So why did you choose this route, right? You said you're a leader. You said that I just want to be the person that makes other people believe in themselves. Why did you choose that purpose?
When I first started, it was just so many different things that I saw people doing as creatives, and it's like I would look at it a certain way because I'm like, I wouldn't do it like that. I would find my own way to do it, and I feel like also what led me to this point is like just the way I was raised. Like I was always raised to just be focused and stand up for what you believe in, and just if it's on your heart, do it, make it happen. The artists I listened to early on, like Jay-Z, like Nas, so many different artists got them leadership qualities. Like standing the test of time, like really being able to excel over time, like no matter what era they was in. Like I remember hearing the story from Jay-Z as far as like him getting backed down by so many different labels and the labels not believing in him. And it's like he literally had to sell CDs out the trunk, like really had to make it happen. And he went to every label and they turned him down. But it's like if Jay would have been a follower, he would be just another artist, like another artist that would never made it. But with him being a leader, he took what he did and built with everybody around him. And now look where he's at.
Billionaire.
Billionaire. Like just getting that inspiration early on. It's like, why can't I? Why can't I make it happen? It's a 12, 13-year-old go Haze watching this shit right now, And I just want to let them know, bro. Don't like do your thing. Like stay focused and just always go with your first mind. Like don't be a follower at all, because at the end of the day, until they see it, they won't believe it. You can only speak so many different things until people see it. You're like, oh, I get it. I get what you're saying.
You've done that to the point where your last album was all the titles of the tracks meant something to you.
Yeah.
How is your success changed your life? I would say your life for the worse, right? Because in the song, I forgot the title, but it's Don't Hit My Phone. You got these people hitting you up. So talk about that, man. Talk about the story. Why, I ask you about it because of that song, really.
You know how I go when things may look up to a lot of people. It's like I saw this on I saw this online. It was like the motion detectors. Like when people see like you doing things or you doing certain things and you reaching your goals online and you making it happen. It's like certain people will come out of nowhere. And it's like you kind of feel the energy of that. Like when you was down, you never got these type of calls. You never got none of this. You never got none of this shit. So it's like I know why you calling. So like as simple as that. Like I was in a moment where I'm like, oh okay, don't hit my phone actually. Don't call me at all, because certain people do have agendas, and you do have to watch out for that as well. Like because that's a distraction also. Like that can derail you from your purpose for real. But it's like those are tests. Those are tests. If it's like certain things, like it could be lust and women and certain different things and like certain things that may grab you, you feel me? Like just grab your energy at the time, just derail you from your real purpose. Like those are real tests. And you gotta be mindful that you can't let up from the goal at hand, because a lot of that shit is just really put in your face to be a distraction.
Hey, how many times you failed that test, bro?
Sometimes I'm still human. We fell in a lot. But I think the first step is admitting and realizing, and realizing that's a test and that's what it is and that's all it is. But I think the main thing is like you got to be honest with them as well. You got to be honest with yourself too. Like as far as like where you stand in your life, if you're not ready for no relationship, you don't want to be a distraction to a woman as well. Like I learned that as well. Like you don't ever want to leave her on or be that distraction or to the point where she like don't hit my phone. Like because women they on their shit as well. They got a lot of things going for them, and it's like they don't need no extra distractions from nobody. So that goes both sides. We got distractions and they got distractions as well. It's all about how you go with it.
Once again, you said that all these tracks, they were a checkpoint for your life.
Very important.
Which one was the most crucial for you?
It had to be Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith was important because like I started that off talking about my age and where I was at, at the time, and like where I wanted to go, and like how much greatness I saw in myself and everyone around me at the time. Like just being able to really just speak all of that into existence, like taking that leap of faith and realizing that it starts with us. It starts with our mindset. It starts with just knowing that it's possible, knowing that we done worked our asses off to this point, and it's like, then what? Like you got to just be able to dedicate time after time, and it's like you got to be able to look back and just realize that you was able to grow and make things happen. So I feel like leap of faith was extremely important because even when we started the interview off, we was talking about traveling a lot. Like that's taking a leap of faith. Like just being able to really, man, like find time to really get in these rooms and make things happen and just create these connections.
I specifically asked you about this because I can relate to that shit. Every single episode is a checkpoint for where I'm at in that week. So I look back a year, I can see exactly where I was. I can see the person I was. I can see the differences in my mentality. If I'm more clouded mentally than I was a year ago, or if I've progressed. So being able to have those checkpoints, and for you being able to look back on your music and see that this was the position I was in at each point of my life when I recorded this song, that gives people the deeper insight, a rawer insight into who you are as a person.
Through the tracks, you can kind of hear like the voice. I feel like when the next project come out, people gonna hear a lot more confidence as well. Like with the last project, I was still trying to figure out a lot of different things. Like with this next project, like the voice is there, the confidence is there, like just the tone is different. Like, I think that's very important when it comes to music as well. People have to hear your tone and feel your tone, feel your energy. Like with the stuff you're saying too, like you got to be able to tap into that emotion that you in at that time. Like when you're recording these records as well. Like you say, like you able to go back and look back on your episodes and realize the exact space you was in mentally. Like you can hear it, you can see it. I feel like that's most important when you create your music.
One bar that stood out to me from your project was, I don't have the exact one, but it's first you want to say that, we link up, but I put you in a room and then it's fuck Haze. You know what I'm talking about?
First it was Big Bro, now it's fuck Haze or some shit.
What was going on, man? And you don't got to answer if you don't want to, but, I kind of want to give the people a deeper insight. Like, that's something that happens to a lot of people.
I forgot how the line went too, but I remember the exact moment I was in around that time. But it's like just we all go through phases where, man, like you just look at people and it's like the way they treat you. It's like you don't feel the respect. Like you just like, man, you just gotta. It hits better when you write it on the record. And you look back on those moments like, man, I was able to write that and just go back to that space, and learn from that as well. Like, cause it's like once you write these records, you getting out of that space. You kind of writing yourself out of that space too. It's therapy. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta write to get, cause it's in your mind. Like if it's in your mind, you gotta write it down. And once you record it, it's like, okay, cool, I got that off my chest.
That's one thing that I love from Ed Sheeran's interviews is he always says, if you're writing a bad song and you know this shit sucks, finish writing it, because you're gonna get it out your system and you move on to the next.
You move on, yeah. Every song won't be bad. Just gotta keep creating.
Write down those bad thoughts, write down that bad energy, relieve yourself of that energy and move on.
Yeah, and it's like when I started off on my book as well, like I really started off writing a lot of things I was going through, as far as like not in a negative way, but a lot of things that I was like trying to push myself out of. And then I started like really speaking to myself, like as far as like just speaking goals and just knowing that it is possible. And that's how I was able to really write and create chapters of my book. And as far as like just trusting my journey, teamwork, staying consistent, staying aligned, and just speaking great things into existence. Because I feel like your mind is so powerful.
Damn, bro. I want to leave off on that. I want to leave off on appreciate your moments. Make sure you're speaking what you want into existence and just be the best person that you possibly can be, because being able to reflect on these moments that you have and look back and say, damn, I've grown. That's important.
That's everything, bro. Like just being able to just look back on each moment and say, man, like I gave it my all. I was able to stay consistent and have no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in my life I don't have any regrets, and that's so important. Like you don't ever want to look back and like, damn, if I would have did that, I did. I do got moments where I look back like, damn, I wish I could have, but like no deep regrets.
Mm.
It's like we came too far. We here for a reason. We got to continue to just keep pushing ourselves in a new direction as much as we can.
I feel like I gotta ask, man. Like, it's the journalist in me, man.
Talk to me.
What's one of those biggest regrets you have?
My grandparents not being able to spend more time with them. Definitely, that's definitely the biggest regret. If I got any, that's definitely the biggest regret. Like just being able to just get more knowledge from them, and just really have more conversations. I lost my grandfather when I was technically he went in nursing home when I was 4. So, and he didn't pass until I was like 13. I lost my grandmother when I was like 16. I lost my other grandmother when she was like 17. But it's like I know for a fact that those are my angels because around that time I started making music. So I feel like every time I create music, I'm really talking to them and just being able to just keep the relationship going.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming through. I really appreciate you chopping it up with us for. I can't tell what that says. Does that say 60 or 80?
65.
65 for 66 minutes. That's not how long it's gonna end up being, but it'd be like that. That's gonna be all, guys. Make sure you go ahead, stream his new album. Make sure you check out his book. And, man, just keep an eye out for the name, Gold Haze.
Yes, sir. Your potential is endless, man. I'm grateful to be here with Sad Boy Radio, man. Working on a new project. Your pain is mine. It'll be out by the springtime. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the family. Shout out everybody. Grateful.
Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to be all. Peace out. Sad Boys for real.
This is Sad Boy Radio.